So the notion of the psi bank, that particular term, came to me through Jose Arguelles and his book Earth Ascending, which came out in 1985. And as it says here, the psi bank, or as it is also called, the noosphere, is a metaphysical repository of the collective consciousness of humanity. Analogous to a planetary brain, the psi bank stores and regulates the flow of information and psychic energy on Earth. It acts as a timing mechanism and a memory storage system for the planet, integrating the experiences and thoughts of all sentient beings for all time. All elements of the psi bank are connected through the universal principle of the center, also known as the mandala principle. And you see on the right is one of the 50 maps of consciousness that Arguelles delivers through this book. And we see in the red circle the symbol, the Greek letter psi, and there's one above it there in the purple, a little more graphic than the one below. But there's this notion of the psion, and this is your biopsychic energy configuration. And the notion is that there is this bank of psion information that we can interact with and can retrieve information from. So the whole of this work that I've been introducing kind of is subsumed under the myth. This is the returning myth of the feathered serpent out of Mesoamerica. Feathered serpent was an overarching myth that touched all of the Mesoamerican cultures and continues to this day to be in resurgence. And especially since 1987 and the harmonic convergence. That was really the wake-up call to the world that this myth was once again operative and was now prepared to enter the global sphere and touch people in all countries all over the world, which is what harmonic convergence did. So on the lightning path, an individual's astrological birth chart is a valuable tool for consciously engaging with the overarching Mesoamerican myth of the feathered serpent, a figure long celebrated as a symbol of wisdom and beauty. Since the harmonic convergence, this myth has been quietly awakening the hearts and minds of the many people worldwide, inspired by its universal values and its timely re-emergence. And here we have the old boy himself, the feathered serpent. I am Quetzalcoatl. I am the star serpent. I am the dream of man, soaring in eternal flight. I am thy soul, O brother. I am the love that guides the light. So here's a little poem the robot made on my prompting about psi. And on the right, we have an image, an artistic rendition of the Greek letter psi. And if you look closely, you'll see that on the left side are all things left hemisphere of the brain. And on the right-hand side, you have the right hemisphere of the brain. And they each have their own characteristic way of being. And what we're experiencing with psi is that the two are coming together as one. So this is the more holistic orientation to life that's available to us if we embrace both hemispheres of the brain. So I thought this little poem was actually quite lovely. In the corridors of thought, where shadows meet, left brain, right brain, harmonize and greet. Left brain speaks in logic's tone, numbers, words, it calls its own. Right brain whispers in hues and sound, creativity and dreams unbound. Psi, the beacon, strong and true, unites these worlds in a broader view. So if we're seeking a broader view, we're going to have to begin to understand transcendence. And when I think of transcending limiting beliefs, I always think of my friend John C. Lilly from back in 1972 in his book, The Center of the Cyclone. This was a monumental undertaking at the time on his part, and he consolidated this whole notion of the human biocomputer and of multiple levels of consciousness, and he came up with this aphorism, which has been kind of his trademark ever since. I call it the consciousness explorer's credo. So something to bear in mind, no matter what domain of knowledge you're going into. In the province of the mind, what one believes to be true is true or becomes true within limits to be found experientially and experimentally. These limits are further beliefs to be transcended. In the province of the mind, there are no limits. So also in that book, I came across this chart, which I've altered a little, but it's the quantitative relations between self, essence, and ego, metaprograms, as he calls them. So to me, this depicts the ultimate journey in consciousness that we're on, each of us. We each, in our youth, develop an ego, and from then on, we have to contend with an ego, which gains more and more power. But there's a journey from ego into self, an individuated selfhood that is possible if we're prepared to take the journey and let go of societal judgments, let go of familial judgments. We really, at the level of the self, are on a quest to really individuate and to let go of limiting beliefs. And in doing so, we become closer and closer to our essence. So this is the kind of the soul's harvest, if we can make it that far in this particular lifetime.
I was just saying, in our youth, we're born into the world to develop an ego. And
we're born into a matrix that works us over.
Overcome or realize or move beyond the ego and discover ourselves. And then beyond that is our true essence.
So from the Arguelles book, and maybe, Thomas, maybe I could ask you to mute.
Sure. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Once again, from the Arguelles book, this is one of the maps of consciousness, map 14, the holonomic model of knowledge. So this is where we have before us the opportunity to engage in a holistic worldview that integrates multiple disciplines. As Arguelles portrays here, we have the heavenly sciences, astrology, astronomy, physics, geometry, math, logic, languages, etc. We have human or biopsychic sciences, arts and crafts, architecture, music, dance, healing, medicine, biology, government. Third, earthly sciences, atmospheric studies, geology, siting, agriculture, environmental planning. Now, all of these are emanating in time from the geomantic core. And this is an expression of holonomy, or the science of unity. That's really what he's guiding us into in this map. A holonomic model that we can embrace, and where we embrace it most fully is at the heart center. Because there we have the Mandela principle that unifies all. The vertical axis he calls the axis of the eternal present, the plumb line of transcendent insight. So this is the whole, it's like the Zen center of the universe. And as Thich Nhat Hanh used to say, present moment, perfect moment. Now, Carl Jung was ultimately a fan of astrology, and this famous quote from him really says that astrology represents the summation of all the psychological knowledge of antiquity. And as a long-term student of astrology, I must say I fully agree. It's in my experience, I've gained a real depth of psychological knowledge as a result of the work of people like Arguelles and Dane Rudhyar, and so on. So in the lightning path astrology that I've been pioneering, a core concept is that one's astrological birth chart is a vast mandala of interwoven psychological functions. Through heartful, exploratory contemplation of those functions and of how they are related to each other, one may gain access to the ancient psychological knowledge Carl Jung speaks of. On the lightning path, we do not limit ourselves to simply the traditional tools. Oh, I'm sorry, this paragraph doesn't make sense at the end here. We do not limit ourselves to simply the traditional tools. And I call this form of contemplation PSI probing. So PSI probing, it's like little vectors of intention out into the collective unconsciousness. And as a result of making that initial venturesomeness, we will encounter the memory bank of the PSI bank and all that's contained there. So to probe is to search into and to explore thoroughly. And I must say, on this journey that we've been on, the new moons and full moons together, it's been a real adventure in consciousness. And I'm so grateful for the participation. So another a little poem from the robot regarding PSI probes. In classrooms bright or quiet night, PSI probes serve to guide the light. In learning's quest or healing's touch, their power lies in caring much. Ethical paths they must abide, in privacy and truth confide. For minds are fragile, hearts are dear. PSI probes walk with gentle cheer. Thus in the dance of probe and mind, a PSI probe's grace is well defined, blending wisdom, heart, and sight to guide the soul through day and night. So this particular image came at a time when I also was inspired by what's known as the Barbury Castle crop circle in Wiltshire, England. And it was one of those moments of aha. So here's the context of the aha for me. Barbury Castle, as you see here, I expected a castle with spires and this and that, and you know, gardens and lawns and so on. But no, this was Barbury Castle is an Iron Age hill fort located in Wiltshire, England. It features a series of defensive earthworks and ditches, typical of hill forts from that period. Situated atop a hill, it offers expansive views of the surrounding countryside. The site is historically significant and often associated with various archaeological and mythological interests. In modern times, it gained additional fame due to the nearby appearance of the intricate 1991 crop circle, which brought the location into the public eye. So the Barbury Castle crop circle and the lightning path. According to the context rendered by the lightning path calendar, The Barbary Castle crop circle emerged during collective passage through that portion of the calendar known as the Temple of the Empowered Human, and specifically referenced by the number and glyph combination 7-Eb. Through the lens of 7-Eb, the Barbary Castle crop circle becomes a transformative tool, inspiring growth, balance, and the harmonious integration of life's journey with spiritual wisdom. The crop circle's intricate design serves as a map for the human experience, urging individuals to align their actions with their higher selves and to walk their paths with mindful awareness. It bridges the earthly and the spiritual, offering a profound space for reflection and the pursuit of deeper truths. At an even more detailed level of the Lightning Path calendar, the Barbary Castle crop circle is seen to have emerged under the number glyph combination 2 Manik, thereby embodying a profound and balanced message of healing and cooperation. 2, this number signifies duality, partnership, and balance. It represents the need for cooperation and harmony to achieve wholeness. The crop circle's emergence under the number 2 invites observers to contemplate the balance between the physical and spiritual realms and to seek unity and harmony in their lives. Manik, represented by the deer or hand, this glyph symbolizes healing, completion, and the tools necessary for life. Manik is associated with health, well-being, and the power of the healer. It highlights the importance of taking action to restore balance and harmony, both within oneself and in the wider world. As a 2 Manik manifestation, the Barbary Castle crop circle emerges as a symbol of duality and healing. It offers a powerful reminder for humanity to seek balance and harmony in all aspects of life, emphasizing the importance of cooperation and the integration of different energies. The formation encourages individuals to take action towards healing and restoration, using the tools and wisdom available to them. An auspicious synchronicity. In 1991, Barbara Nins, who's on board with us today here, began creating a series of 20 silk paintings depicting Mayan hieroglyphs. It was a labor of love that took her 10 years to complete. It was also in 1991 that I created a painting expressing the essence of the Mayan-infused lightning path I had been treading since 1986. I called the painting Descent of the Skywalkers. From a series of 20 possible lightning path temples of birth, I had auspiciously chosen to depict my own temple of thunder alongside the temple of the empowered human, which just happens to be Barbara's astrologically determined temple of birth. And now, it was in that June of 1991 that the spectacular Barbary Castle crop circle appeared in England. It gained instant worldwide attention as what many crop circle enthusiasts referred to as the mother of all crop circles. So we have here, for Barbara and I initially, a gift of relationship. We were, through a mutual friend, we were brought together and have associated ever since, close at times and not so close at other times, but long-standing now since the early days. So a great quote from Rudhyar regarding relationship. It is the fact of relationship which induces deep-seated transformation in a person. A man who would be all alone, unrelated to anything, would remain what he is, just as a motion remains what it is, i.e., has inertia, unless slowed down by friction or deviated by an external force. Individual selfhood has inertia. It is through relationship that changes occur. So the power of the dyad, especially. Just as a single disc symbolizes an individual's core identity and central purpose, a double disc symbolizes the same for a relationship. This is calculated by finding the zodiacal midpoint between the suns of the two individuals in their natal charts. The composite sun reveals the essence of the partnership, illuminating its fundamental nature, shared goals, and collective self-expression. It serves as a focal point for understanding the relationship's strengths, challenges, and overall dynamics. When combined with the profound astrological tool known as the Sabian Symbols, this process allows us to delve deep into the mysterious repository of ancient knowledge referred to previously as the Psi Bank. So the composite sun is a major tool in this exploration. So as a first example of the use of this tool, I'm introducing the Sabian symbols here in the exploration, for those who don't know them. The Sabian symbols are a body of 360 cryptic images, one for each degree of the zodiac. And on the right, you see three versions of books that feature the Sabian symbols, and each with its own interpretation. We have Dane Rudhyar, Mark Edmund Jones, and Linda Hill. And they each have their own commentary on the symbols, and it's from their commentary that we can derive a deeper understanding. Mr. Burgess, who has a fabulous website, if you go just jamesburgess.com, this is the most consolidated Sabian symbol site on the internet. And he believes that the knowledge encoded in the Sabian symbols comes originally from the newly discovered ancient site of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. He may or may not be right on that, but it's a very intriguing notion. And what he has to say about the Sabian symbols, I think, is really important. Each of the 360 symbols and explanations can be seen as a life mystery. Each of us will have our own personal take on it, and this can be as valid as any attempt an author makes to give objective meaning. It all depends on how capable you are at opening the subtle, intuitive aspect of mind to unveil the mystery. So when we refer back to Barb and I and our relationship, although we each individually and at great distance from each other were rendering images of the Mayan calendar, it wasn't until 1998 that we actually met. And this was through a mutual friend. As I say here, Barbara and I first met on Cortes Island, BC, on her 49th birthday, October 5th, 1998. 26 years later, we find ourselves exploring our relationship through a wide variety of ways. Since May of 2023, this joint exploration has been focused on our participation with a small group of friends, that would be you guys, who meet online with us via Zoom at every new and full moon. A video record of each Zoom call is posted on my YouTube and Rumble channels so others can review our explorations. And in reference to her and I specifically go to call 14, the new moon call 14, to get the larger picture here. So in March of 2023, I was inspired by this notion of the dyad and the composite sun, and that it would be, it was like one of those invitations from beyond. It was very pressing, and it indicated that I should contact Barbara and request that we do an exploration of our joint, our composite sun, record it and have it available to share with others. So I sent this email, and that was March 30th. And on, I believe, June 19th, 2023, that request was fulfilled. And we, along with others, had that new moon Zoom call number 14. And we really dove in and did a full exploration, which also included the discovery of this Mesoamerican city with circular pyramids, Guachimantones, Mexico, over on the west side of Mexico. So the layers of revelation started to come in. Now, right at the time that I was requesting this meeting with Barbara, I had done the calculations for our composite sun, and on the very same day, she emailed me, she didn't know what I was up to, but she emailed me a photo of the Sphinx, not this exact photo, but a corresponding photo. So a major synchronicity for us, and certainly kept me pumped to continue on in the investigation. And especially in relation to Barbara, because our composite sun indicates that the pyramids and the Sphinx plays big in our existence. What does it stand for? Old knowledge, reclaiming old teachings that pass the test of time. Also notions of spiritual ancestry. So this is, we're now starting to penetrate into the Psi Bank and retrieve ancient knowledge. And here we are. This is, we're doing it. This landed on my desk yesterday. The Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, which is the pyramid in the foreground, Mexico, and which I've been to the top of, aligns with the Pyramid of Cheops in Egypt. So this is, in my experience now, this is a lovely, once again, a synchronicity that keeps me pumped to continue to explore this whole domain. The alignment of these two pyramids definitely picks up on intuitions I have about the global matrix that is available to us if we can open our minds, open our hearts to. There's Thomas again. I've lost my cursor.
Make me a co-host and I can let him in.
Okay. My cursor's not delivering. No. Okay, that worked for mine anyway. Now, to get back, I can't seem to. Well, I guess we'll just have to push on.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve comes in right on cue, and there's his name right on. Because there came that day when I received another prompt from Spirit, which said, consult Sophia and Steve to see if they would be willing to do an investigation. I wasn't calling it a PSI probe at that time, but it really was, uh, to probe our composite suns in relationship to the Barbary crop circle. I mean, what an outrageous sort of thing. But there it was. It was presenting itself to me. So I thought, well, I'll approach these guys and see what they think. Well, they were most accommodating. And just before we push on to that, here's Buckminster Fuller. Universe is everywhere and always triangulating. Once I had got this prompt from Spirit, I took it as I recalled from my early days this quote from Buckminster Fuller, and it's now inspiring me around this whole notion of the crop circle and how the triangle is a big part of this crop circle. So yeah, there's lots more for us to discover. So Sabian symbols and Mayan kin in the context of the Barbary crop circle. So we're expanding now. Thomas, please don't keep trying to readmit because it's screwing things up.
I'm not seeing him trying to enter.
You know, I've got a rectangle here. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
There we are.
yeah. Okay, now
He's back.
I can't go back, it seems. I can only go forward. Okay, so the natal solar trialogue. That's what we'll call this. August 7th, 2023 is I think when I contacted Steve and Sophia. And just to enhance this notion of what the natal sun is all about. It's really the center point for it all. Astrologically, the sun is more than just a celestial body. It is the very heart of the natal chart, illuminating the path to self-discovery and self-realization. The sun's role is to guide you towards becoming the fullest version of yourself, shining brightly in your unique way.
I see the shirt.
There you go. And there was the initial, this is from my journal. So I've gone in, I've done the calculations, determined what the composite suns are, and we're ready to start working directly with the imagery that the Sabian symbol provides. And we're starting with just the natal sun for each of us. So as you see on the left with Steve's Pisces 30, sun at Pisces 30, and over the last couple of months, we've discovered this rock man at Steve's power spot there on the coast. And already there's been inspiration come from that image. And we're just getting started. Now, Sophia, the same thing. We discovered that her Sabian symbol is the Garden of the Tuileries in France that both Sophia and Steve have been to. And then for myself, we get a couple of lovebirds. So as I started to pull up these images in my presentation, my preparations here, I got quite ecstatic at this point. It just seemed like there was a real gift from spirit coming to us. And it's going to be very colorful. It's going to be an exciting journey to probe into the billions of images that are now out on the internet and are accessible to us at the drop of a hat. And the interpretations that are available to us from places like ChatGPT. I was very happy to discover that ChatGPT is very savvy about the Sabian symbols. So you can, in fact, request that it deliver information to you about particular degrees of the Sabian symbol, as well as the Sabian symbol's phenomena itself. So for Steve, for example, with Sun at Pisces 30, the Sabian symbol 360, also referred to as the 30th degree of Pisces, is represented by the image, the Great Stone Face. This symbol evokes the mythological and poetic vision of a human visage carved in stone, gazing out over time and humanity. It is a powerful image that invites reflection on themes of legacy, idealism, and the enduring qualities of the human spirit. And then with every interpretation they provide, you can go, you can get this whole lot of detail. And I won't go through all of this, but this is just to indicate to you that should you wish to, freely available on the internet now are programs that will deliver this kind of information. So the title that Rudhyar gives to this particular degree is a majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up, begins to look like it. So there is a famous stone in the US, I can't remember exactly where, and it has for decades inspired people because of this notion. People are seeing it, the great stone face. So it brings up themes like endurance and permanence, inspiration and aspiration, legacy and influence, myth and archetype. The great stone face can be seen as an archetypal image representing the eternal search for meaning and the quest for understanding the human condition. It taps into the mythic dimensions of existence, where larger-than-life figures and ideals play a central role in our collective consciousness. So just with that little foray into all of what's offered here, those of us who know Steve know that there are many relevancies here. He's living in many ways this archetypal embodiment and doing so with real mastery. Conclusion, Sabian Symbol 360, the Great Stone Face, is a profound and evocative image that calls us to consider the lasting impact of our lives. It inspires us to strive for greatness, to hold true to our ideals, and to create a legacy that will endure. It also invites reflection and contemplation, encouraging us to think deeply about what we value and how we can live in alignment with those values. Now for Sophia, with the sun at Gemini 3, the garden of the Tuileries in Paris. Key themes here, cultivation and beauty, social and intellectual engagement, something she loved, historical and cultural significance. The Tuileries garden is not just any garden. It is steeped in history and cultural richness, symbolizing a connection to heritage and to the preservation of cultural achievements. Now, the guidance here for applying this kind of knowledge to our personal and relationship dynamics, the theme of nurturing growth comes up. Just as a garden requires care, relationships and personal growth need attention and effort to flourish. This symbol encourages the active cultivation of one's relationships and personal development. Well, that was certainly Sophia. And over decades, she encouraged development of relationship. And on it goes. Now, when we bring this into a triad context, we have the natal sun, and we have this triad, which is now Steve, Barbara, and myself. And once again, there's my calculations and so on from my journal. On the right-hand side, we have an image, and Barbara is the one that cued me into this, that these crop circles, although we generally relate to them as two-dimensional, they're three-dimensional and more. And there are animations available on the internet that show these different images coming into three-dimensional life, and it's very intriguing and compelling in its quest and its invitation for us to explore. So once again, the 1, 2, 3, we have Steve with Pisces 30 and the Great Stone Face. Now we have Barbara with a minor emerging from the depths, along with yours truly. And to go a little deeper into that image for Barbara, the miners are emerging from a deep coal mine. So themes we have here are emergence and renewal. The miners coming out of the earth symbolizes emergence from a place of darkness into the light. This represents renewal, coming out of difficult or challenging situations with new insights and strength. Hard work and reward. Mining is a labor-intensive job, indicating that significant effort and hard work have been invested. This symbol emphasizes that the fruits of one's labor, the rewards of perseverance and determination, are finally being realized. I know no one who is more of a deep researcher than Barbara, and the amount that she shares through Facebook, especially the links, the videos, just keep me constantly informed of these many different realms, and just tons of inspiration, more so than anyone else I know. So I really think this coal miner and that 6-chakra beam, it's going in that space and it's coming out from that space. So that would be our gal, Barbara. Love you. Now, when we start going for images for the three of us, some new images, we have, oh, now we're on the composites, I'm sorry. We explored the Steve and Dwayne composite a little bit, and we are called to announce some upcoming event or activity. And on the right, of course, we have myself and Barbara and our Sphinx and the pyramids. But now for the dyad that Steve and Barbara hold, we have a mysterious entryway. And before we speak about that, just to share a little bit more about what Steve and I have. And so there's tons here for us to engage in contemplating in reference to our relationship, and where it, you know, what purpose does the spirit indicate is there for us? You know, we've got tons to to contemplate and to explore with each other on our own, but also together, and can be very, very fulfilling. So when we do go to Steve and Barb's composite at Capricorn 6, 10 logs lie under an archway leading to darker woods. When interpreting this symbol for a composite sun, which represents the core identity and purpose of the relationship, it suggests that the union is at a critical juncture where foundational elements and preparation are essential for progression. The relationship may need to face uncertainties together and rely on their strong base to navigate through them. In practical terms, it could mean the relationship is at a pivotal point requiring careful consideration and preparation for the next phase. Both partners need to reflect on their past experiences and work together to build a solid foundation for the future. Facing uncertainties with trust and courage, recognizing that challenges are opportunities for growth and transformation. Establishing a structured and organized approach to manage the relationship's challenges and opportunities. And we see emphasizing the importance of inner work and mutual support to navigate through periods of uncertainty and transition. Overall, a dark archway and 10 logs at the bottom as a Sabian symbol for a composite sun at 6 degrees Capricorn indicates a relationship at a significant threshold, highlighting themes of transition, preparation, foundation, and the potential for new beginnings. It underscores the importance of structure, inner work, and mutual support to navigate through uncertainties and build a strong, resilient union. Now, another synchronicity. Steve, in the last month, has at one point spoke about this book that he had discovered and a note that was enclosed within it. And he read it to us, and it was about what in geometry is called the unit circle. And here's the robot once again giving us the poetic message. The unit circle, in the heart of space, a circle small, with radius 1, it stands for all. Angles stretch and points align, cosine, sine, in perfect rhyme. Theta turns, the dance begins. X and Y, where life spins. Every turn and every phase repeats in endless cyclic ways. Unit circle, simple, grand, shapes the cosmos hand in hand. In its form, we find the key to nature's truest harmony. Now, this is to take us into a next level of engagement, and here we're engaging with the Mayan Tzolk'in calendar. And there are 260 units, each one a combination of number and glyph, number and hieroglyph. So we now have this hieroglyphic language at our disposal, and we can reference it to our solar, the placement of the sun in our charts. Now, when we're finding that solar placement in the calendar, the Mayan calendar, it's called the solar kin number. So that's where we're headed now. We're transposing into the Tzolk'in. So the ancient Maya combined 20 hieroglyphs with 13 numbers to create a 260-day calendar called the Tzolk'in. Each day of the Tzolk'in is represented by a combination of one of the 13 numbers and one of the 20 glyphs. This combo is called a kin number. As will be shown in the following calculation example, the position of the sun on the day we were born is what determines our own particular solar kin number. So here's Steve's birth chart on the left, and in the red circle, we have his sun at Pisces 30 degrees, conjunct his Mercury at 27 degrees of Pisces. So to determine the kin number for any natal sun, we first convert the sun's zodiacal position to a decimal. Then we multiply that number by 0.722. I call that the Mayan factor. And round up to the next whole degree. The number thus derived is called the kin number. So here's just a calculation example. The sun at Pisces 30, 359.5 degrees times 0.722 gives us 259.5. And when we're dealing with the Mayan calendar, we're always dealing in whole numbers. So that number rounds up to the final number in the series, the ultimate, which is 260. And then we go to this following chart in order to locate the corresponding number and glyph associated with this. So over in the bottom right-hand corner, we see number 260, and that indicates to us that the number associated with this position is 13, and then back along the yellow over to the left, we have a how. So that's simply telling us that position 260 corresponds to 13, a how. So then we ask, well, what is a how about? It's about universal love. It's about the Christ principle. It's about Steve Bruce. And so if we look to all three of us, we each have our own solar kin. Steve has the how, Sophia, 11 can, and myself, 7 lamat. So there's a whole host of information available to us. Once again, we can go to the Mayan Oracle by Spilsbury and Brinner, the book. There are other sites online. And of course, we can go, I was happy to find out, we can go to ChatGPT, who also is savvy about the Mayan Oracle and the Mayan calendar. So as a birthright, being born under the combination of 13 Ahau bestows a profound and enlightened essence upon an individual. 13, this number signifies that you are at the pinnacle of spiritual energy and completion. You are naturally inclined towards achieving mastery and fulfillment in your endeavors, embodying transformation and the realization of your highest potential. Ahau, represented by the sun or Lord, this glyph symbolizes your inherent leadership, enlightenment, and wisdom. You possess a natural authority and vision, guiding others with strength and insight. As a 13 Ahau, your birthright is one of profound spiritual maturity and completion. You are destined to reach the heights of enlightenment and to realize your full potential. Your life is marked by wisdom and leadership, embodying the light and guiding others towards their own transformation and fulfillment. Sophia, now deceased, as you know, as a birthright, born under the combination of 11 can, which bestowed a dynamic and transformative essence upon an individual. Number 11, this number endows you with an inherent ability to navigate and thrive through life's disruptions and transformations. Your journey is marked by significant changes that test your adaptability and resilience, driving you toward personal growth and evolution. Something she was steadfast with. Hieroglyph can, represented by the serpent. This glyph symbolizes your connection to fertility, abundance, and the primal life force. You possess a natural vitality and an innate ability to foster growth and harness the energies that sustain life. As an 11 can, your birthright is one of powerful dynamism and vibrant energy. You are destined to face and embrace changes, turning challenges into opportunities for abundance and development. Your life path is characterized by a profound connection to the life force, guiding you through transformations with resilience and strength. That's our gal. C'est moi. As a birthright, being born under the combination of 7 Lamat bestows a harmonious and creative essence upon an individual. Number 7, this number represents a balanced and reflective nature. It signifies a deep connection to introspection and a harmonious blend of the spiritual and material worlds. As a 7, you have a natural inclination towards seeking inner wisdom and understanding the deeper aspects of life. Lamat, represented by the star or rabbit, this glyph symbolizes creativity, fertility, and abundance. Lamat is associated with beauty, harmony, and the cycles of nature. You possess a vibrant, creative energy and an ability to bring joy and harmony into your surroundings. As a 7 Lamat, your birthright is one of balance, reflection, and creativity. You are destined to seek and cultivate inner wisdom, blending spiritual insights with practical reality. Your life is characterized by a strong connection to beauty and abundance, enabling you to create and nurture harmonious environments and inspire others with your creativity and joyful spirit. Well, may it truly be so. I appreciate the guidance that's presented here, and yeah, it's a matter of opening up and being willing to receive. So, where are we now on the lightning path? We are here in 8 Kib. We're at the full moon of 8 Kib, which is about grace, which is about cosmic force. And as we see here, we're heading down the pyramid now, through the Temple of Eagles. We're in the Temple of Eagles, and we will be, once we get through the Temple of Eagles journey, we're entering into the Temple of Star Harmony, and there's where we find Neptune, and it's highlighted there at the 4th moon for Chikchan. We have Neptune arriving at the 1st degree of Aries. Right now, it sits atop Steve's sun, my own asteroid Bacchus, or Dionysus. And so the two of us are definitely charged here with mystic potential. And as we go through the rest of this particular lunation cycle, we'll then be preparing for August 4th, entry into 9 Kaban, which is Earth Force, and 9 being great circles. So we can anticipate that being a time of revelation of some of the deeper mysteries. The long-term cycles will become more and more apparent to us. For the moment, we're just busy dealing with life as it is and encountering all kinds of natural forces. I thought this particular image, which I took just the other day up behind Murray Creek here in Spence's Bridge, I really saw Neptune's rattling his trident. And as it happens, one of the railway companies, I don't know, I think it was CN, has recently, it hasn't stayed for ever since, but one day it was parked on the rails right in the heart of the village, was there a control center called Poseidon, which of course is another name for Neptune. It was parked right there and has been part of the action ever since. It's kind of their command central. And we've had just horrendous fires here for the last week, and they will continue for weeks on end from now on. So this is truly a cosmic force in action. Another a little fun synchronicity, just to let you know, there's other people out there working with the same image, crop circle image. This is an artist, I'm not sure, Monica Sue, obviously inspired by the Barbary Castle crop circle. So just another indication of how we can interact with these symbols, bring our artistry forward, get that right hemisphere activated and enjoying the journey and the splendor of creativity. And that would be it. And there we go.
Thank you, Dwayne. Wow.
Welcome.
Talk about your abundance. It's abundance of things to play with. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. The play is the thing.
Yep. Yeah, where to play. Yeah, very fascinating. The signs and the symbols. That's what I've felt the last, year. All these signs and symbols showing up.
Yeah, you've been raining down upon you.
Yeah. And wow. First, like we were talking about the Akashic records last at the new moon, and that they hold all that thought and all that information that's ever been or ever will be. And so that gave me solace in the fact that while I'm playing with Sabian symbols, it's the same thing. Because if this person thought of these symbols, well, obviously it's part of the Akashic records.
Right, you're referring to Elsie Wheeler.
Yeah.
Clairvoyant, yeah.
So it's all coming from that source, which is the thought or the mind, I feel. So I had a couple of ceremonies for Sophia this past 2 weeks. I did the fire element and I did the wood element. And the fire element, I found the fire element was the most difficult. And it's like you're dealing with that now. I'm dealing with it. It's just, of all the elements, it's a sensation of finality. It's very finalized making or ending. And it was the toughest one. Like I had pieces of Sophia's accomplishments and symbolically put them into the fire to let them go in the physical realm. So I see our triad and it gives me comfort because I go, Yeah, the physical realm is gone, the striped shirt, but the spiritual is still there. So all that's to draw from that triad. But amazingly enough, to tie in with Barbara and the tree and that new friend and that space caught fire this past week, and it burnt the whole underbrush. But the trees weren't affected like they're Gary oak trees. But the fire was caused by teenagers playing with fireworks on when, you know, they're banned, but of course that's teenagers and the rebelliousness. Unfortunately, it was an offshore wind and it was blowing towards the ocean, so it just kept it horizontal and burned the underbrush. And in essence, for me, when I'd walk up there, there'd be cans and parties, and it seems like that area has been purified.
Right on.
So very fascinating, this fire energy. Very, very, very powerful. But that day of in terms of more signs and symbols and connecting, the morning of the fire ceremony where I went out camping and built a fire on the 3 days before the fire ban in BC. I went camping, but that morning I woke up and in the parking lot below, I mean, this is a very quiet apartment, but that morning, the song Let It Be by the Beatles, Paul McCartney, was playing as I woke up. It says, wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to you, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. I go, wow, that's wonderful to wake up to. So then I proceeded to set out on my fire journey and ceremony. And after it was complete, the next day I went to the beach for a swim to cool off because it was the hottest day of the year. And fire was literally coming out of my hands. I think I got prickly heat. And I went, and the fire, I'm studying the elements, and the fire is about, as Thomas is saying earlier, I'm speaking up. I want to be seen. I'm out there. So there was a tent set up at the park. And I said, oh, I'm going to go speak to them. They were ambassadors for the park. So I'm going to go speak to them and show up and see what's going on. So I went over and started talking with them. And they had photos of identify these plants. How much do you know? So it was very playful. And then we started talking about meditation, and I told them about the meditation center, which is a big part of Sophia's life. And at the very end of that conversation, they were giving out stickers. They had one sticker. And Sophia used to play with stickers, put them on envelopes when she'd mail them or anything. She loves stickers. And the sticker said, let it be. Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So then the following day, I come home and Sophia, before her physical death, was really connecting with the angels. And I took her oracle deck and shuffled her cards. Said, "Oh, I'm going to draw a card for myself." And I pulled Mary Magdalene. And that's the teacher awakens, which then takes me to the rock formation of emulating my teachers or wanting to be like them and saying, okay, I'm turning into it. I can be the teacher. So I have some friends arrive. We go for lunch and they ask me about heart attacks. They're fearful around heart attacks. And I said, well, I've had one. And I was able to share with them that the cause really is tension and worry. And I just saw their eyes lighting up around. There's nothing to worry about. There's no reason to be tense. Just let it be. And it was just very beautiful. So in playing in this realm of all these possibilities and Sabian symbols, I'm just finding it fascinating. And I mean, there's a lot presented, but it can be personalized to play with for oneself and not be overwhelmed by it.
Mm.
So, yeah, there's so much here with, oh yeah, and the eagle. One last thing. In every one of the 5 element ceremonies that I did, 4 out of 5 ceremonies, eagles showed up in the physical, actual eagles. The one that didn't show up was metal, which was, of course, that was under the aurora and the magnetic metal at night. So I didn't see any eagles at night, but I'm sure they were there. They're perched. But I saw out of the 5, 4 out of 5, the eagles showed up. And of course, we're in the Temple of Eagles, and eagle feathers are showing up and flying around. So it's, and in the words of Sophia, that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
That's incredible. Thank you so much, Steve, for sharing that. And Dwayne too, the presentation was on point today. There was a lot
Thank you.
a lot going on in there that was very enlightening to take it all in, like another epic exploration in the Yellow Submarine.
You got
Looking out the little circular window at all the deep sea things out there.
Yeah.
And having been viewing all of the previous presentations, it gives, oh, is that another dog? Oh, cat. Okay. I'm just watching all the different screens. So like having that context with having seen the evolution of all the presentations, like I can understand, you know, each step along the journey and the significance of all those events. Like in previous presentations, I would hear about the rock face and that being like the place of what Rick would call solaire, like your sanctuary or that sort of thing. And now with the synchronicities of the fire happening under the trees there, purifying it, and the fires up at Dwayne's neighborhood there, and I was thinking, you know, in Dwayne's area, that being sagebush country, it's like probably like super purifying there too, like just smudging the whole area, like clearing lots of possible negative karma accumulated in that area from things of the past, and same thing with the cliff, the rock face formation, just like giving it a fresh look, you know, burning up the garbage around there that the kids leave around, and that sort of thing. And yeah, I'm just soaking it all in, you know, taking in all the signs and the symbols, and it's all super fascinating, like making this different connections too, like with the things I've learned, and I feel like there's different pieces of the puzzle being revealed. Like you can only, when you're building a puzzle, like you can only put pieces in after you've put other pieces in, which lead to more. And that's what I feel like this meetings are all about, is like on this higher level, our souls are all agreeing to like stay at this same frequency wavelength, so that we all evolve together in this this harmonized kind of unity. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share like a little bit of my presentation, you know, like you say, just about this last new moon. Since the last new moon that we entered 8 Kib, or Kib, however you pronounce it, to me, that is like the archetype of kind of like the pathfinder and the warrior, like the fearless questioning energy of Kib, like you know, holding this sword of will to kind of cut the trail and to be fearless about that sort of thing. And so my last 2 weeks since the new moon has been a lot of um facing some fears in my life, and just processing it all, really questioning things within myself, like getting to the depth of um getting some answers, and then with the tone 8, it's like the tone of harmony and integrity and models. So it's like harmonizing your integrity, and modeling that, being like a good role model. And so my experience has been, I did about like 10 or 11 days straight, basically at work, at my job. And to me, that was like harmonizing with my team there, like my boss and coworkers, and that had that tone 8 quality, like they say, wholeness and integrity was like upholding that kind of values I had at my work. And then it all culminated yesterday, like it's a blueberry farm. So I was weed whacking and pulling all this vines off this berries because the bushes were all overgrown. And then just yesterday, we had this epic first harvest of the season on the machine, and just tons of blueberries being picked, and just super successful. And that's like their main staple,
Wow.
like their main income, or like one of their like the family I work for, a very solid source of sustenance. And it's like, so it was just so satisfying and rewarding yesterday to have that first day of harvesting and just going so smoothly. And so then like last night I was just like, I could finally take a little break, a little day off. And we had that new moon was at our time 3 a.m. ish. So it was just in the middle of the night. So just waking up, and like normally I sleep way in. So I'm like, Dwayne, why you gotta make this meeting so early? Come on. And then but this time, like since this last week, I had started I had gone to work. It's been super hot and the wind comes to cool things down at around the afternoon. So that's when I'll go to work in the field and just do it till like it sunset. So afternoon to sunset. But then when harvesting came, my boss said, "Oh, we want to start at 8." And I'm like, "Oh, that's gonna be tough to get up." And then so he said we're gonna start on Thursday, but there was 2 days where the machine needed to get repaired. So um I was like, okay, I'll get up early, but I go to work and the machine's still getting repaired. So I had this 3 days to get myself more acclimatized to a good circadian rhythm. And finally I was only there at 8:30, only half an hour late, no big deal on harvest day. But the day after, like this morning, I was like, oh, if I can keep this rhythm up, then I'll be able to make it to the meeting. And sure enough, I woke up this morning and I was like, wow, I didn't sleep in for once. This is amazing.
Oh, good for
And
you.
so the whole progression just from the new moon to the full moon has just been such a wonderful thing to reflect on. Like I didn't know everything happening at the time, but looking back, like I'm a big fan of all the different systems of astrology, the harmonic module with the Zolkin and all that kind of stuff. So I just love studying it all and applying it. And so that's like a little story just to add some depth to where we're all coming from. And I appreciate hearing what everyone else has to share. So I'll say that's the end of my little sharing to kind of complement all the energies we got going on today. So
Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Quentin.
yeah, you're welcome.
I need to get some water.
Mm-hmm. So other than that, there's a few things about the presentation that I had a couple questions and comments about.
Yep.
And for one, I was quite intrigued about how you calculated the 260 kin based off of the sun sign of the 360-degree circle with that 7.22 ratio. That's pretty cool. I was wondering where you learned about that calculation because I haven't come across it before.
I have an Aquarian mind.
Oh,
And numbers sometimes just pop in. Like, this is the right thing to do here. I don't know. It's just like it appears, and it's like, there, do, There's another one, 1.067, that they're essentially are transposition factors. So you can go from one system to another. So they have a common source. So it's a visual logic that's really easy when you see the circles in front.
You do that as well with the I Ching, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's another transposition. So I'm working on a presentation that will explain or will reveal what that looks like. And yeah, I'll make sure I've got your question in mind when I do that. Actually, the notion of doing that came to me through Rudhyar. Way back when. I can't remember which one of his books, maybe Astrology of Personality, which was his first foundation work, talking about the starting point. It's like the new moon point. It's always it's a universal reference point. So once you get that reference point and then start transposing to different scales, I guess that's what it amounts to, different frequencies. It's a very useful tool. And it keeps it coming back to like your mandala of your birth chart. That's what I like about being able to transpose like that. It keeps layering.
I just want to make one comment on the Barbary Castle. When I saw that, and to me, it suddenly took me back to playing King of the Hill. And there's the green grass on it. And in the neighborhood with the group of boys, you really found out about the physical realm and who was stronger and who was a jerk about it. And then the spiritual realm, like who could I get along with? Who wasn't my flavor? So it was like when I saw that, I just took me back to playing King of the Hill. We had this side yard, and it was like I can see that top part where the king is standing, sometimes only momentarily,
right on.
and getting thrown down the hill. So
rough and tough.
Yeah. The castle.
So Barbara.
Yeah.
Hi. You're being very quiet.
Well, she's got all these chatters going on here.
Yeah. Oh, you got no sound?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I just was muted. So it's happy birthday to my son.
Oh,
it's his birthday today.
And how old?
I have him with me for 40 years now.
Wow. Good one.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and he's my guru.
Yeah. I have a daughter like that.
And guru means gu is the darkness, and ru is the one who takes the darkness away. And that's today, because it's also a Guru Day.
Nice.
That's all what I can say today. What more do you want? So you connected with this Guru energy in your presentation, I guess.
Well, it seems like we have a dark doorway in that picture that posted. There's a dark doorway, which is looking at the shadow, I feel.
Right on.
I had said 10 logs below, but the picture has 10 logs above. So
yeah, that was the best I could do.
That's AI, I guess. Sometimes it doesn't listen.
Right. Yeah, when it comes to photos, especially, or
Yeah.
images, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But that's all part of the imagination part,
Yeah.
But maybe it's a portal.
There you go.
You know, it doesn't need to be like something behind it, which is like, it's just like go through and check it out.
Yeah.
And go to places where you haven't been, or to explore things on another level, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's us, Barbara.
Hope so, because it looked really too realistic to me. I mean, it's a everything was very spacey, but this was very organic. So
Yeah.
it's also important to see it as an organic way. Like,
There was a lot of wood.
while we are here, not into other worlds, but into portals of things like you have the rock, for example. That's also a portal. And like Quentin said, it got all cleaned out, so this place can become more effective as a place where you can receive or meditate.
Yeah.
Maybe then less people would put garbage there, maybe so.
Yeah. Well, I listened to the comments, and the meanness of the people, you know, going after the young teenagers that did it, and but there were a few comments in there going, "Oh, this will purify and be better than ever," and you know, looking at it at a different angle than this punishing God. So it was actually very interesting. I went to the beach there and was observing people. More people were going there looking at it now that it had a fire, out of their curiosity, and they were looking
wow,
at the,
yeah.
they were looking at the burned out part, and yeah, it was very fascinating to watch people's curiosity of the place.
Yeah, and when you bring flowers and put hearts there, like the other day you had some hearts painted in the sand, which I really liked.
Right, yeah, they were
painted there already, you know.
Yeah,
but
they were there.
Messages, you know. Yeah, this is like also like a portal.
Yeah,
it's like a message.
Yeah,
or a message in a bottle. You could leave some messages there for these youngsters to find.
Right. Right.
I would do that, you know. It's like, you know,
a whole new approach.
Some kindness kind of thing, you know, some I don't know, poems or some gift.
Right.
Like there's also these games. I don't know if you guys play that, where people put stuff like it's like geo watch, and they go with to find like treasures.
Geocaching.
Yes, exactly. You could make a point and then put a little bag together and sort of who finds that should have a nice day, for example.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I've seen that where the people abandoned art.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's also possible. So yeah, maybe this is what we have to do: change the places, change the energy.
Right.
Like what came into my mind with Dwayne's fire kind of story. When he started to write this letter to the railway company, Dwayne, you did post that in
just yesterday.
Facebook. Yeah. And I thought, wow, that's great. That's a beautiful moment where you can start a creative interaction with the whole village. So that people think about how do you want it changed, that sound of the train, you know? And for me, I thought I was getting this this one place in Afghanistan came into my mind when I was traveling. This was such a nice village. It was like one round place and another round place, and that was the only taxi. It was 2 horses with a carriage, with the carriage. So that was only going back and forth in circle, back and forth, and it had all these bells on it. It was like cling, 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 cling. It was so beautiful. It was like this Christmas sound, kind of cheerful sound. You know, you don't get disturbed. You can keep on sleeping. You can keep on being in your space. So that came right into my mind when I thought about you guys. I thought maybe this put some, you know, like a different kind of music, a different kind of sound, instead of this ooh, I don't know how the sound is, but it's probably more
Beethoven.
Oh yeah, or
some dramatic presentation as they're coming through. I would love to hear that.
Or you know, also what I liked is like when you at night heard this cowboys bring in the herd. Yes. That was also a nice sound, you know.
You only got such a little snippet. It was like this. It was just incredible.
Yeah, make something big out of it, you know, and offer it to make a place where you offer. I mean, you have a unity house where you unite, so everybody can bring in some ideas of how they would like, you know, make it an art piece. This is what I get inspired now with Bruce and my common nature portal, which you did put out for us today. Thank you. So just to keep it rolling here. I think this is a gift for all of us. And when something is bothering you, you're free to change it nicely. You know?
Actually, yeah.
And this is how these are opportunities, creative opportunities.
You know, having a special spot like you do, Steve, and I do as well, you know, the waterfall especially. And between here and the waterfall, there's all kinds of stuff gets discarded, you know, pop cans, beer cans, you know, bags, this and that.
Right.
I have great pleasure with my little bag and my, you know, third hand, picking up stuff. It's just feels so right. And it, what
that was my thought.
If you get a place clean, people are much less likely to leave stuff there because they see themselves in it a little bit. Whereas if it's just neglected and everybody's crap is there, then, you know, it's just somebody tossing. So that's an awareness vector, you know, that really works.
Yeah, well, that was a thought. That was my next thought, was to take a bag and gloves and pick it up. And now the fire's gone through. There might be some burnt cans, but
getting there.
Yeah, that was my next thought, but which leads me to like this connecting to the mind or the thought. It's all out there, but until I make a choice, it doesn't manifest.
Yeah.
So, okay, I had the thought of the bag and the gloves but the choice would be taking action and grabbing the bag.
Absolutely.
And the gloves and go there, pick it up, or go there and leave a magic message like Barb was saying.
Yeah, or a cookie.
But that's manifestation of the thought. Or otherwise, it just stays out there in the records.
Yeah.
If there's no action. So that came up, and that showed up in my Sabian symbol of in transcendence. I'm seeing in this psi, it looks like the Neptune fork. And
yeah, I agree.
My Saturn's at Libra 26, and that Sabian symbol is an eagle and a large white dove turning one into the other.
Oh,
Peace.
nice.
Yeah.
And peace has to be done. Peace is love in action. So you have to do it.
Yeah, and it's in hearing the symbol.
Otherwise, there's no peace.
Yeah. And it's choice. Like,
yeah,
it's looked at in some of the words around it. The eagle is the predator. The dove is passive. But there's a choice in each moment, which is interesting. It's in Libra, so it's a balance of that.
Venus energy.
Yeah, which is so amazing. My Saturn and Neptune are conjunct and in opposition to the conjunction on the other side of Venus and Mars. So with this, there's a lot to play with in the natal chart. Yay, more playtime.
We're coming up to the 2 hour.
Wow.
Oh,
Thomas, do you have anything? Rebecca? We're just coming up to 2 hours here and shutting down time, but have you got?
we're only just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
I'm willing if you guys want that, but that's been our protocol. But we haven't heard from you. Can't hear you.
He has to unmute himself.
You're muted.
He doesn't,
Okay, we'll try this again.
Hey, we got it.
I find your presentations are way above my head.
How about your heart?
Oh, heart's there, but heart is back in Spence's Bridge on that waterfall.
Right.
And being with you, the presentations are very intellectual, and I'm more into my body.
Yeah.
40 years ago when we met, I was very much into my head. But interestingly enough, Becky followed along. Well, you can speak for yourself, but I didn't know if she'd understand any of it because she hasn't been introduced to any of your previous process.
That was a lot to take in.
But
I understand most of it.
she understands it.
Oh, good.
And someone sent her your first AI poem at the beginning of the presentation.
Yeah.
Somebody had sent that to her recently.
Yeah,
recently.
2-3 nights ago, they sent me some programs, but with meditation tips and stuff. But I had to read through it, and I just started. But the first chapter was all about the brain and the left side and the right side. So it was interesting to see that here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
She's way more advanced than I ever have been. I'm just receptive now.
Well, that's good.
More than ever.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. We're both going to go get palm readings today.
Great. Well, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but thanks again, Dwayne. We may be heading, Rachel, Beck, and I may be heading out to Vancouver in September. And if we do, I'll definitely let you know and hopefully make a stop to see you and Teresa. I'd love Becky to meet both of you. And I think I had mentioned in my email or my note to you that I gave her Teresa's book.
Okay. So.
Right on.
Which I devoured when I got it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. So that's all. Oh, maybe Becca has more to say.
No.
Yeah. Curious what Becca has to take away.
To take away?
Yeah, take away from today.
I'm not sure. It's just really nice being here with you all, and the knowledge was good. Not much to say, honestly.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're always welcome as you travel the world, you know. You can check in with us.
For sure. I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear Thomas in that there's a lot of information, and I think it took me a year to relax my mind around it.
I understand.
Relax my mind around it, and then it's almost like Quentin's blueberries. Just pick the ones that I want. I mean, there's an abundance there, but I can only eat so many.
Yeah. That's it for everyone, right? We all have information differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where do I want to play? And there's triads and dyads and you know, now I've got the shadow, the portals. So there's lots of paths to learn from and enjoy.
For sure.
But it's interesting having Becky here because when I was her age, I met her mom here in Calgary. And it's like a cycle returning.
Mm-hmm.
I lost track of her mom for like 20 years. And then we reconnected about 15 years ago. And then just in the last couple months, the universe told Becky and I both that she needs to come here where her mom lived. And her mom and maybe your brother are coming next year. So yeah, like that's the exciting part for me, I guess, is a cycle of a lifetime coming full circle.
Mm-hmm. And new beginnings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I think we'll sign out. Maybe see Dwayne. Maybe see Dwayne and Teresa in September.
You bet.
Well, thank you. Maybe we'll see you at another new moon.
Yes, with Becky here, we may do that more. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. She, yeah. The next one.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Love you guys.
Take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy school, everyone.
Thank you all.